Yeah, I've got the chat up, Discord too.
Alright, nice. Alright, so welcome everybody.
So
This is
hopefully
round
good.
of 64 between Jerimuno and Snow, also known as Koenig Eric. First map is Alaska, and it looks like they're playing Aztecs and Russians. I think this is an OTP map, so no surprise that they're going to be playing these kind of civs.
Yeah, I think you're right, which explains the civ choice, like you said. Neither of these civs really rely on TPs, which we see most in the semi-FF meta, and as such, they like to stay colonial, play the late H2 game. There is a bit of water on this map, sort of like a crescent moon shape, which potentially both players could go for. I mean, these are civs with water cards available to them.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see them play a little bit of water on this map. It is like one of those like half water maps where there's not a ton of water around, but it's still a viable option. And since there are whales, you can actually make something out of this. I think looks like there's 5 whales total, so you can do
it's a pretty good amount.
Not too much, but
yeah. But we'll see how it plays out. We do have snow in the color red, playing Russia in the northeast of the map, and in the southwest, Jerimuno in the color blue, playing Aztec. Both players doing their standard thing. Aztec player laying down a fire pit. It looks like Jerimuno is already working on the 80 wood treasure, which is going to be really nice for him.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, with Aztecs, it's always very difficult to get that early set of wood. They are able to put their Warhot up very early in the game, and they tend to age up very quickly. But they don't tend to have enough wood to actually do that because they're making that fire pit. And you can see actually Jerimuno started with 100 gold instead of the normal, or the preferable 300 wood start. So getting any amount of wood is going to be good for him.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really nice treasure, and especially on this map, well, I guess there's some decent treasures on this map. We do see 95 wood guarded by 2 grizzlies. The native scout, guarded by that grizzly.
Yeah.
And and 80 wood here. This map has a lot of nice treasures, I realize.
Yeah, it's actually very surprising. There's a lot of wood treasures.
Yeah.
A lot of decent other treasures, like the 90 coin here guarded by looks like only 2 wolves, which Jerimuno is about to just pick up right now. 90 food also on the other side of the map. So a lot of those mid-tier treasures that are easy to pick up or not too difficult to pick up, and actually provide a lot of bonus.
And I'd even like to see someone go for the 2 CDB treasure at some point in mid-game with their military. I think that'd be like a really nice pickup, and it's not too difficult to get once you get a nice mass going.
So this is actually the first time I've actually seen this map, and I'm noticing one kind of interesting feature is that there's some of these berries that are outside the starting area, but there's no berries in your starting team. Oh, actually there are. Never mind. Okay.
Do you find those berries a bit difficult to see from the background?
Yeah, I was going to say that there are no berries on your starting town center, but I just didn't notice them in the background. So it turns out yes, players do start with berries.
That's crazy, actually. Oh wow, yeah, they are. I see them either, even after you said that until just now.
Yeah, they blend right into the background, at least on my graphics.
Yes, same.
Oh well, I'm going to take a quick look at the players' decks. It looks like Snow actually has a couple of water cards. Not going full water, but he has the schooners, he has a boat shipment in H2 and one in H3. Jerimuno, meanwhile, is not going to be going for water, it looks like. He's got a pretty standard or straightforward Aztec deck. Got the 10 skeletons, a bunch of wood cards. Yeah, I'm interested to know if Koenig Eric actually goes for this water play.
Yeah, I'm interested. A lot of times I just like to have the possibility in there for, potentially once hunts sort of run out on the map or something. It's more like a late game card at that point, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what he chooses to do with it. We do have a bit of a kind of awkward encounter around this 95 wood. Both players, explorers here, although Jerimuno's war chief is definitely low hit points and he's going to be forced off.
Yeah. Jerimuno remarking on the lack of a snare, which is definitely going to save him in this case. His score is very low. He would not be able to win the fight. So he is going to be just running away, and is thankful that there is no snare on the native scout due to the EP changes. I definitely, when I play water, or rather when I see a water map, sometimes I'll pick a water deck with no intention of going water. It's just purely to have something to do if my opponent goes water too. Usually I'm not willing to actually do it myself. I just want to not get caught off guard. I think in this case, Koenigarek is probably going to go for a similar thing. It doesn't look like he's going to be going for any water play. Just doing it just in case.
That's a very good point.
Himself.
Yeah. We do see the first military buildings coming up for each player in relatively the same location. Jerimuno's is a bit forward, but Snow is trying to secure these 2 forward hunts, it looks like. And I'm not too familiar with this matchup. To be certain, I'm not sure exactly how it plays out.
Yeah, my understanding of the matchup was that it kind of runs similar to the Indians versus Aztecs matchup, where normally Russians and Indians, they place their first military building aggressively. So Russia will place the blockhouse aggressively, India will place their aggro aggressively. But against Aztecs, they're not really permitted to do that. Aztecs gets to be the one that is the aggressor in this matchup. And we can see that kind of happened here. Snow put his blockhouse a little bit forward, not right in his base, but just a little bit outside, so that he could get these hunts secured. But he knows that he's not going to be able to match the Aztecs with a very forward blockhouse himself. True,
very true. And nice little pickup here. Jerimuno's converted Cougar actually picked off the native scout of Eric Snow, which is, can be quite a huge advantage, because that native scout can sometimes act sort of map hack, give you really valuable information, which could be game-changing at times.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that was an important treasure that Snow picked up that he actually didn't get a lot of value out now. He got, I guess, a little bit of HP on the War Chief, but I was hoping that native scout would stay alive for much longer in the game. You can imagine if he put that native scout right outside this war hut, and he was able to get the War Chief down in some way, he would have total information over the game, and would be in a very good position.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
We see an interesting 13 Stralet first card out of Eric at age 2.
Interesting, yeah.
Interesting choice, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be very typical. I think he was expecting a very aggressive play out of Jerimuno, but you can see Jerimuno's not doing that at all. He sent 700 wood as his first card in Colonial, and now 5 villagers to follow up. I think that, he's been standing up about a shipment ahead due to, I guess, the fire pit. And I think Snow's about to send out his second Colonial card right now, and Jerimuno's is about to send his third. So.
Yeah, and that's the value of the Warrior Priest. It's almost like the trading post, which is very valuable on maps that don't even have trading posts. It gives you that experience edge, and of course experience is such a valuable resource. Thinking on the 13 Strelets, actually, it makes quite a lot of sense in that if he sends a 5 Cossack, as most Russian players normally do most games, it's really susceptible to a Mace Sultan shipment and like Kuma presence. So I think Strelets is like the only way to really handle that.
Had a bit of a raid going down for Jerimuno. I think he got about 2 villagers total. Snow's reaction time there was not ideal with those coyote runners. But now actually Snow has a pretty scary army coming out, and there's not a lot of anti-cav out here with 5 Cossacks and a bunch of Strelets and a bunch of musketeers. I think that might be
that 5 Cossack is a really nice timing, and this might just be able to clean up the whole Aztec army.
Yeah, let's see. It looks like there's 10 musketeers here, which is not quite enough if you wanted to take a fight. That is to say, the Strelets aren't quite protected, but Jerimuno only gets 1 coyote out of that patch.
That could have changed that. Oh, but Jaguar Prowl Knights are being called from the town center Big Button, and those are going to do a good number on the musketeers. And meanwhile, 5 coyotes are still up and doing damage, and actually Aztec is going to clean up the Russian army. So quite a bit of a swing there.
Yeah.
Wow, those Jaguar Prowl Knights.
They kind of counter everything in the Russian army at this point. They don't do so well against the Strelets, but there were only 13 Strelets out from the shipment. And the Musketeers and Cossacks actually lose to Jaguar Prowl Knights. So yeah, good play by Jerimuno. It looks like he has a commander now. He has still a lot of coyote runners.
Yeah, this is looking to be go in favor of Jerimuno right now.
Yeah, things are not looking too good, and Snow, he's got another shipment coming. I know he has to be sending something at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if he sent 4 Cossacks out to try to get out of this one. He is calling the Minutemen. It looks like Jerimuno is responding with 5 coyote runners. So,
yeah, 5 coyotes, maybe not the shipment you want to send there. Yep, like you said, 4 Cossacks coming out right now.
Yeah, this is an important timing. He was able to get the Minutemen, and he was able to push Jerimuno off a little bit, but he needs to be able to make something happen. And actually, there might be still too many Coyote runners for Snow to do anything about this one. Actually,
the Minutemen are adding a lot of DPS here, far more than 5 more must do, and so I think he's going to be able to take this fight just fine.
Yeah,
and Jerimuno, but he's bringing back his Coyote. Interesting. Yeah, if I were him, I would recoup the War Hut, let these Minutemen's HP go to 0 or 1, and go from there. Because right now I think he's in a fine spot. If we look at the economic unit population, it's 29 to 18, which is incredible.
Yeah, it looked like Snow got some really good trades out of that. There are a lot of Coyote runners that kind of died for free there. And Snow has mixed in a stable himself. He has now added another 4 Cossacks to his composition. And I think that's going to be good. You can see Jerimuno isn't making any Puma in this composition at all, and he's not in position to do that. He isn't mining any gold. I think he has that 6 Puma.
Yeah, it looks like.
But I don't think he is going to be sending it, because I don't think he's fully aware of the number of Cossacks that are out right now. Well, now
I think he's content with his Maselton Coyote Runner composition. And so far it's been doing well for him, but like you said, there are a lot of Cossacks on the floor right now. It's gonna, I'm not sure who wins this fight. It looks like it's the Aztec player still.
Yeah, I think there's still just too many Coyote runners for this, and a lot of.
Yeah, at this point he just has too much stuff. I mean, if we look at the build orders, he was able to sneak in 700 wood and 5 villagers, whereas Snow is just units shipments. And so his economy, as a result, is much better.
Yeah, but now we can actually see there's actually still 6 Cossacks left, and all the mace are going to get cleaned up without any protection. And
they are.
There's a 6 Puma shipment coming out pretty soon.
There should be a shipment. Not yet.
Oh, yeah.
5 Coyotes do come and save the day, though. Or 4. He's just got a shipment now. I wouldn't be surprised if there's Pumas.
Yeah, I think he kind of has to. You can see that this game has been predicated, or has relied on like these 5 unit timings coming out. You can see another 5 Cossacks coming out, and that's probably going to clean this up unless the 6 Puma come out right now.
Yeah, this is a really interesting and also important part of the game, at least important time, because we see Eric is kind of out of safe hunt, and the hunt he's hunting on is in between these 2 military buildings, so it's really...
Yeah. You can see now,
really
right, if a 6 Puma shipment came out, that would be very, very good for Jerimuno. I think he's going to be able to clean this up before the shipment comes out, and yeah, I'm surprised that it hasn't come out. Maybe
okay, there are the 6 Puma. Yeah. Only 2 Musketeers here to add DPS, and there's still 2 Mace Holtons alive, so yeah, he's able to push back this force as well. This has been a really interesting game, like you said. I mean, it's just batches of 5 units and shipments of 5 units.
Yeah, but I think the theme in all of this is, even though Snow has been able to hold on just enough continuously, he's not been making any villagers during this period of time, where Jerimuno has been continuing to grow the economic lead. You can see it's now 14 villagers of lead, and Snow has been focused purely on making military just to be able to survive, and he's been doing very well surviving, but he's not able to actually close his economic lead at all. He got 1 villager there, but that's it's a very small...
just a drop in the bucket.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think he's aware of how far behind he is economically. And this has been a very well-played game by Jerimuno so far.
Definitely. I think that Snow at this point is kind of aware of the fact that there are a lot of villagers that are out and about on the map, and that there is a lot of potential to raid. This is a very open map where there's a lot of different attack paths. I say that actually, and I realize that it's maybe not as open as I thought. You can see that Jerimuno has control over the center, and then these 2 trading posts block a lot of pathing, meaning that there's only kind of like 2 attack paths to go in through raiding. So I think Jerimuno would be able to do something about these raids, and there's not a lot of Cossacks that are actually doing this either.
Yeah, and he's doing a nice job fending off this raid and applying pressure of his own on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I think
looks like they're going to be slightly out of...
And I think a lot of these, well, I don't think that these Coyote runners are going to get away now, but maybe the war piece is, and that is going to be important later on.
Wow, if we look at the units lost tab, Jerimuno has made and lost 51 Coyote runners. That's a lot.
That is indeed a lot.
And he hasn't made or lost any Puma Spearmen, just the 6 from the shipment, which are all still alive.
Yeah. new blockhouse going up over on this side of the map, and that is probably going to be helpful. I think it's going to keep Snow in the game for a little bit longer. He's going to get this hunt for a while, but importantly, he also secures those berries. So
yeah, and I'd also
probably
like
doesn't
to
want
see
to
him.
get that, but he doesn't want to be gathering from the berries. But if he has to, it's going to keep him in the game for a little bit longer. I'm wondering if he actually knows about this hunt over here on this side of the map, because it is also fairly secure, but he hasn't actually gone for it yet. And he does have these villagers.
I forget how to. Yeah, and I forgot how to do the fog of war.
Yeah, I never remember how to do that. I always just hope that I don't need to.
Yeah, same. Right now it would have been nice, but oh well. We do see there's still that 95 wood treasure, which actually I'd like to see Eric separate his before and get that real quick. It'd be a nice little boost, perhaps, but you know, maybe there are better things to worry about right now. For instance, this Aztec army pushing up on its forward blockhouse.
Yeah, the Aztec army against the blockhouse is probably his major threat right now. He could probably make a few other blockhouses in his base. He just shipped another 600 wood, and so I think he's doing well on wood right now. He's got, I think, 500 right now, and another 200 as crates. So if he wants to continue to hold on, he probably needs to put up another few blockhouses just to be able to survive against the Aztec army, which is getting very scary, and it's going to only continue to grow in size due to this economic lead. Looks like Snow was able to close that lead by a little bit. There's only 10 villagers now, as 14 before that.
Yeah, and it looks like Jerimuno is pushing up on these other two sideways blockhouses. And he's got a really interesting composition. There's only 5 mace holds here, and the rest are coyotes and 6 pumas. And there's a lot of infantry on the floor here for Snow, but I mean, these are coyote combat coyotes now. They're actually quite pop efficient units, and I think he's going to clean this up. Oh,
yeah,
the coyotes forward. Yeah, they're bugging in the trees or something.
Interesting, yeah.
But still,
the
he's
composition wasn't great for Jerimuno in terms of what types of units are being made, but I think there were just so many coyote ranges that didn't really matter.
Yeah, and especially against these Russian musketeers, right? They're sort of notoriously not great with cavalry. And he's just going to shove everything in here and clean it up while being ahead by 15 villagers.
Yeah, I think everything's just going to die right now for Snow. He made another 5, or made another 23 that's just there. He's getting another 5 musketeers out, but there are just so many units for him. He's going to be losing villagers during this entire thing. He's doing a pretty good job of defending. I mean, he was picking those paths through the market and the coin mine. He was using his villagers to tank, but you know, all those fancy tricks aren't going to help when there's just twice as many units out.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, like we've said, Jerimuno cleaned all this up, and is still harassing villagers, still applying pressure. And I mean, at this point, you have to wonder how Snow could stage a comeback, if at all.
Yeah, I think Snow is now, I think, kind of resigned himself to losing this game. You can see he's not playing quite as well as he's really known for. A lot of his villagers are idle right now. He was gathering berries for a time. I don't think he has enough units to be able to do anything about the number of units that are out for Jerimuno right now. And even if he were to do that, his economy is half of what Jerimuno's is right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we can almost safely chalk this one up to Uno.
Definitely seems that
really
way,
impressed by what I'm seeing from him game 1.
Yeah, he seemed to be playing pretty well. I've played Jerimuno a few times. I know that he's a decent player, but Snow is definitely one of the better players in the game right now. It seemed like he did a pretty good job right now, and is showing some pretty impressive Aztec play.
Yeah, this is quite. I mean, Snow is definitely the favored one here, right? So this is quite a bit of an upset in game 1.
Yeah,
I'm really curious to see
how
how
the rest. This is a betting match or not. I didn't bet, so
good question.
I at least made that good decision, because otherwise I would bet 2-0 on Snow, but that didn't happen.
Alright, and GG has been called, so yeah, game 1 goes to Jerimuno. Very cool. I don't think it's a betting match.
Okay.
So Yeah, maybe that could be beneficial to everyone who would probably have lost some points here.
I do know that I think early on Snow was saying that he wasn't going to be able to play this game, this entire match, because his internet was bad. And I also know that I didn't want to talk about it too much, but yeah, the lag in this game was a little tricky to work with. At least in my end, and I imagine for the players it wasn't great. And I think that is because it's Snow's internet. I don't think anybody else is having the problem here. So it probably is affecting him a little bit.
Yeah, very possible. Snow's a very mechanical player, and so I'm sure it's frustrating if he has internet, which doesn't allow him to play to the full potential of that.
Regardless, I mean, he's still a great player. I think it's not necessarily fair to count him out just yet. I would still consider him the favorite to win the entire series. I think everybody gets a free game.
Yeah, I think
throw accidentally.
I think it's very possible he can do a reverse sweep and take the series. Because it is still just a best of 3. Is that correct? Here in the round of 64.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jerimuno picks his civilization first, I believe.
Yeah. I'll let the players know that flag is too bad. We can, you know, unfortunately, we can end the cast, let them play it out away from casters if they're so inclined.
Right. I like my lag.
Yeah. Shit. Moto was saying the audio is echoing on my stream. Alright, I know how to fix this.
Okay.
It always happens. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna fix it right now. Sorry, Mito, thanks for letting me know. Let me know if it's a problem again. Just something in my computer settings always turns like this surround sound thing on, and it's really not needed. And I disable it every time I remember to disable it. And there's probably a way to disable it like permanently and just not have it ever work, but I'm too lazy to do that. So.
Yeah, thanks for streaming this though, Doug. I think we had a bit of a mix-up for who's supposed to stream this match. So we did get it started a little late, but we're glad we could bring it to you, especially because that was an interesting and surprising game 1. Looking to be a good series.
Yeah, Jerimuno had was definitely the underdog in this series, but he did pretty well in game 1. I think Aztecs versus Russians is one of those matchups that can definitely go either way, because you saw there are so many 5-unit timings that could have thrown the match one way or the other. Jerimuno had a few more good ones, and then he also was able to continue to maintain a growing economy on top of that. So
yeah, exactly.
I think he did do well.
Yeah, very nice play.
Yeah.
And we see the map for game 2 is ESOC, Florida, which is a bit different from the last map. We do have quite a few trading posts available for the pickings. We still have some water play.
Yeah,
both players start
it's one
to
of those
market.
half water maps again, like the last one, but in this case there are some trading posts, which makes it a little bit different. It is also one of those maps that is, it's a little strange to look at because it kind of tries to mirror what Florida actually looks like. So it's got that water on one side and then that swamp on the other, and then the kind of like not swamp but still swamp in the middle, and that's where the players can build. Actually, very close to what Florida is actually like. So I applaud whoever made that map.
good map. I like it. A lot of resources. I think you can collect some sheep too. Rally those in, corral them.
I don't know what's up with the map. I think I just always lose on it. Like my win rate on the map is probably like 0% or close to that. And
I think mine is pretty well because I main Brits, right? And I think it's a really good Brit map because you get so many hunts. It's almost ridiculous. You never have to leave your base. You can just like max manners and have safe hunts for like 15 minutes. It's like,
wow, yeah, I've never noticed. I don't know what's going on with the map, but I can never win on it. It seems like a good map, right? It's got 2 trading posts that you can take, and I love to take 2 of them. It's got a lot of hunts. You can go water if you want to.
I think you've won at least one game on it. I think you beat me on it when you're Ottoman.
Ottomans?
I want to say.
Yeah. Was it doing a fast industrial?
Yes, it was a fast industrial. I got the wreck, if I remember right.
So Dutch versus British. What do you know about this matchup? I'm not too familiar with how it works.
Well, with EP Dutch, I mean, I still think it's Brit favored. I think Dutch can contend though with their cheaper banks and more XP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure how to play it as British. If I want to sort of go for an aggressive H2, or if I just want to sort of do the more standard, make 5 husks, go raid a bit, and max manners. Yeah, to be honest, I'm really not sure. I think it's a pretty even matchup. And that if I play it, I think if I play it, I go aggressive H2, longbow, pike, husk, to be honest.
I see, yeah.
As Brit.
I suppose this is one of those matchups where Dutch wants to go H3 and Brits is probably going to stay H2 and try to play the game out in H2 and not follow into H3.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I feel like more and more, Brits have trouble H2 versus H3, especially Civ like Dutch, which can just rack up so many resources. If they can do enough damage in H2, certainly they can play it out. Otherwise, it's also possible to take this to H3 with Brits if they want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say one of the things that always keeps me from playing Brits is that so many civs go for Fortress, and Brits are so bad at like fast fortressing that I never know if I want to stay.
Yeah, it's really awkward for them.
Or follow.
Yeah, they don't have a fast age.
Yeah.
They don't have a fast age, and none of their units shadow tech. So, and then also around that time, they're usually running out of funds. So it can be really awkward for sure. Which kind of makes this an awkward matchup, right? Because that's what Dutch wants to do, and that's not necessarily what Brits want to do. But Dutch is pretty good at defending, and so I just never really know how to play it. So I'm actually going to be taking notes this game, seeing what both players do and how it works.
Snow picking up a pretty good early treasure for 105 coin. Not so good for him, but it's good because it stops the Dutch from getting it, which in and of itself is good. A couple other, probably some decent treasures on this map. I think this map has some awkward ones, but...
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying the map has these awkward, like... the one I'm thinking of is this 2 blowgunners defending 100 food. Because the blowgunners are always so hard to fight because you can't really... what's the word I'm looking for? You can't do the normal thing you do against treasures.
Right.
Yeah.
Like type them or something?
Yeah. You can only go up in melee, and you're always going to lose HP to do it.
Yeah, and you have to sacrifice a crack shot to do it as well.
Yeah.
When Snow picked up that coin treasure, it gave him 135 coin, which is enough to trade for wood at the market. And he does have 15 wood based. I think it's a possibility that he could have traded that wood and then chopped for a manor, and then be up a manor right now. It's not necessarily a big thing, nor am I even certain that it's very beneficial. It's just something that I thought to mention. Because something like that can sometimes give you an extra villager at 2 minutes.
Yeah, that is true. He could probably, it would be reasonable to do it, yeah. I think he might have some plan with that coin. If he wants to go to H3 or make Hussars, it's going to be a little bit useful to have that coin saved up. I think, yeah, it is a little bit more efficient to have. Well, yeah, it probably evens out because you get that extra villager for a little bit.
Yeah, but it's also a possibility he might idle a little bit. Whereas we see he had a really nice age 1. He was able to age up on time, right, as well as sneak in ganks up before he clicked up. So
yeah. You also got a hunting dog actually off that free
so.
market.
Yeah, and hunting dogs.
Jerimuno, meanwhile, has actually not gotten any of the techs. I think it would be valuable for you just pick up the hunting dogs or pick up the placer mines while he's doing it. It looks like right now he's shopping for a bank.
Right. When you go for those early market ups in Dutch, you do sacrifice your first bank time, which is, you know, the equivalent of about 4 villagers. So you really don't want to delay that as much as you can. Okay. If you look at both players' decks, Snow going for a very similar deck as the first game, and that he has just the schooners and the 2 caravels. It's sort of a possibility for water, whereas Jerimuno has no water cards at all.
Interesting decision to send 700 food in this deck instead of 700 or 600 gold or maybe a different card. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the 700 food card, especially on ESOC maps, and I think this map has decent hunts, although I'm not sure if he scouted this one down here. But for instance, I would much rather have cavalry hit points in this deck. H2.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think that's a really good card.
Looks like Snow is saving up some wood right now. I think he's going to be going for an H2 play. He's moving his outpost back and forward. Yeah, he's making a barracks. Somewhat defensive barracks, interestingly enough. It's forward, but it's not as forward as it could be.
Right, and I'm interested to see what comes out of him as a response. We see, it is getting scouted by Jerimuno, and as a response, he's dropping a barracks of his own in his own base with his 400 wood.
Yeah, Snow scouted that barracks too.
So yeah, so both players kind of know what each other are doing. It's nice to prompt this response from the Dutch player, as I think Dutch would mostly like to make another bank with their 400 age-up wood.
Right.
So he's already sort of dampered the Dutch economy with that.
It looks like Snow is starting with musketeers. Jerimuno hasn't queued up a skirmisher yet, although I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to do so. Or actually, okay, Snow switched off musketeer and now went to longbowman.
Okay, I like that much better.
Yeah.
Especially when he scouted this Rax. Longbowmen just simply beat out skirms. And also they have really nice poking ability, right? They can really add pressure to this mine from surprising ways away.
So
I think that's a good choice for him.
It's a little bit tricky with longbowmen, right? Because they have that setup animation, which means that you can pull off the villagers before they get shot. Whereas musketeers don't have that property.
Yeah, longbow. It's such a frustrating sometimes.
You delay the ability to put down pressure a little bit. With 5 musketeers, he could be in the base right now and putting down some pressure. Whereas with the longbowmen, you need to wait until maybe 10 or 15 to do it. Even so, I think he's pretty comfortable with that. He just got the envoy. He's going to be sending his longbowmen in. He's making another 5 and making a stable. Whereas, meanwhile, Jerimuno is getting skirmishers out, but those are not going to be enough against the longbowmen.
Right, and I like the stable addition. I think something I would have done is like make pikes and like try to siege down these banks, but thinking more and more on it, it doesn't seem like correct response, as oftentimes when you're making so many units of pikemen, it's hard to hold off the Dutch defensive military. But here, adding Huss and longbowmen is just going to be able to add pressure to the Dutch base. And
I think the consideration here is that with Hussar you can have potentially a game-ending move right here, where you just run into the base with all the Hussar and then kill them. Pikemen you can siege down some banks, but even that isn't necessarily guaranteed, because if there's enough skirmishers out, it's going to be difficult to actually maneuver. So I do agree with the Hussar decision here. I think it's a smart one. Actually, Jerimuno added a stable of his own, and he is now making 5 Hussars in queue, probably as a response to seeing all his longbowmen.
So when it comes
Go ahead.
When it comes to the skirmisher Hussar fight versus the longbowman Hussar fight, though, the longbowman Hussar have the edge just because longbowmen have higher base damage.
Yeah.
And they do much better versus cavalry when there's, you know, sufficient blocking in there.
Yeah.
But his units might get caught out of position here. And especially if he calls Minutemen or something here.
That's true, yeah. I think Jerimuno didn't have enough resources for Minutemen, but now he does. And yeah, he is going to call it. But you know what? I think that Snow's going to be okay here. As long as he kills the Hussar. Well,
there's some awkward running of units around.
Yeah.
And there's still 2 Hussar up for Jerimuno, and he's smartly tasking 1 to chase off the 2 that are trying to escape, and he's going to clean up this whole army. Impressive. And only 2 reinforcing longbowmen coming out for Snow.
That was a little bit awkward. You know, even though it was, though, it wasn't so bad for Snow. He lost the fight, which obviously he didn't want to do, but his economic unit population is still slightly ahead of Jerimuno's. He did force the Minutemen call. He does have another 4 Hussar coming out, and we don't see any Hussar now for Jerimuno, or he still has these 2 over here on the right side of the map, but they're all raiding. So Snow is still doing just fine. Jerimuno is actually a little bit mismacroed right now. You can see, I think he was going for an age up, but he's got 1,400 gold right now and not enough food. So the pressure I think had an effect.
And he just sold some gold for food, and he's going to be aging up right now. Meanwhile, a nice 2 Huss raid coming in here. 1 is very low hit points, but might be able to pick off a villager here.
Yeah, it looks like Snow realized what was going on and just went for it. I think, yeah, still 1 villager goes down.
Yeah. So nice little pickup. Dutch will be in Age 3 soon, which is what they like, with 2 military buildings, and he's going to be a little tight for pop space, but he might be able to sell some coin for that. Whereas the British player really hasn't applied a whole lot of pressure to him. He hasn't really done a lot of damage. And so I think Jerimuno is actually looking to be in a pretty good position.
Yeah,
he hasn't lost a villager yet.
Good for him. Yeah, he hasn't lost a villager. He has the great coat research as well, so it's going to be hard to actually kill these villagers.
Yeah,
and
he's eating a sheep, which I like a lot.
Oh yeah,
I think this is the right time to do it.
This is a good time to do it.
Yeah, because this is sort of crucial, right? Snow has scouted that he's aged up. He's going to push in here to try and apply some pressure. He might just pick off these skirmishers.
That is actually a good time to do it, yeah. There's not any defense against the base Hussar right now. There's no Reuters. There's some Reuters in queue, but they're too far away right now. He's going to get the Minutemen at least, and I think he's going to get the skirmishers as well.
Yeah, okay, Reuters popping out now.
Yeah, but
villagers smartly coming in here. Yeah, but I think with the shipments, Snow's going to be fine. I think even 8 Reuters will hold this. Skirms is going to be a little more interesting. I don't know.
I'm not so sure because actually Jerimuno sent out Colonial Militia as his next card, and I think that was his only shipment.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure about what he was going for with that Colonial Militia.
Well, it seems to be paying off right now, right? He's got all these musketeers in his base. Oh, 3 villagers.
Yeah.
Not ideal right there. Going down.
I guess they kill longbowmen in 1 shot instead of 2. But they don't kill musketeers any faster. Oh, they don't even kill longbowmen in 1 shot. Wow.
It's at 0 HP. Well, he did pop some villagers out. Maybe that was a shot at 9 villagers or something. I'm not sure. Oh, now there's just so much stuff. This is just getting really awkward for Jerimuno.
Yeah, a lot of Hussars, not enough Raiders. And still some
losing villagers.
Too, yeah. I think Snow's going to be just fine now. He's sending 6 longbowmen as his next card, so he's going to be continuing to apply pressure. You can see he's 30 points up in score and has a 17 villager lead.
Yeah, there is. Okay, so 9 Reuters do pop. This is going to be a really nice card for him, and 5 skirmishers from the barracks. So I think he'll be able to clean this up with proper micro, especially with the Colonial Militia TC.
That is true, yeah, but I think he's not running the skirmishers away, and the musketeers are getting free shots. And, you know, when that happens, it's not so bad for the musketeers.
You're right. In fact, he hasn't really cleaned this up because, like you said, 5 more SR coming, the 6 longbowmen shipments, and it's just an endless stream of units. Although he is choosing to pull back now. However, that was definitely some damage, right? Jerimuno lost 8 villagers. The economic recalculated population is 47 to 31 in favor of the British player. He's on a bit of the back foot here, the Dutch player.
Definitely, yeah. During that entire time, he wasn't able to gather much resources either. So the economic unit population was even more in Snow's favor. He's now sending 6 musketeers. I guess he's running out of shipments now at this point. He sent the 700, 600. Did he send 5 villagers? He did, yeah.
We haven't seen any unit upgrade cards yet, which makes sense because he only does have the 2 musketeer cards. And he doesn't have a lot of musketeers. But like I said, I think this would be a good time for Huss HP, right? I mean, look at all the Hussar he's made, he's been making.
Absolutely, yeah.
And hit points is the one part of cavalry unit that you want, which is not the most important part. So, 1k wood coming in for the Dutch player. It looks like he's just going to be laying down some infrastructure with this, and hopefully he can, hopefully he can survive this. That's a bit of a greedy shipment, I feel like. But maybe that's what he needs against the British player right here.
It does seem very greedy, yeah. I guess he's going to make another bank, which is good. I think
that is good.
I don't remember what the bank build limit is in EP. Is it 5?
Yeah, it's 5. And he did only have 3, which is important.
Yeah. And then after that,
usually Dutch. Go ahead.
Yeah, he needs, I guess, 1 more house as well, or maybe 2 more houses because he's close to the pop limit.
Yeah.
So making 2 banks, probably going to make a couple of houses. So I guess the 1k wood was not so bad. Right. It was a very greedy approach.
I like that a lot, though, to build the 2 banks, because really Dutch wants to get to age 3 with more than 3 banks, at least 4. 5 is maybe a little overkill, but I think he noted that his economy is definitely less than the British player. However, Snow pushing in at the correct time here again, right when he's invested these 1,300 resources into economic buildings and not into his military.
Yeah, very good timing for Snow to come in. He's got all 3 different types of units. He actually is. I just noticed he has the scout in the back that has been able to scout out these villagers. And yeah, there's not a lot of units out here for Jerimuno. He doesn't have enough of anything to deal with the units out.
No. Yeah, this gets really awkward. He's losing another 4 or 5 villagers during this push. There's just too much stuff for the British player.
Kind of the reverse of what we saw in Game 1, where the Aztecs just had more stuff, and ultimately that was what led to the
Yeah, and so it looks like this is one of those games where Brits just decided to play it out in H2.
Snow remarking about presumably that the ability to just right click in the end was what led into victory. It's kind of silly how the game works sometimes, but that's
it really is. Yeah.
I know most of my losses to British, I guess, come from just not having as much things as my opponent.
Yeah, and I wonder if Colonial Militia could have been something else. If you would have saved and sent 9 Reuters at the very start with the 5 Reuter pop, I think this would have been a different game.
Yeah, I am really curious about the Colonial Militia shipment, if it was a mistake, and also that it does enough damage to a longbow to bring it down to 0 hit points.
Yeah, that would be really unfortunate.
Yeah. So 135 times 0.7.
Yeah. Okay. So
94.5. Oh, okay. Yeah. So the longbow has 0.5 hit points.
That's crazy.
I forgot to look at the post-game timeline. I'm sorry, everybody.
All right, so the series is now tied up, 1 game apiece. This is the best of 3, so this is the deciding game. Actually, I don't know the map off the top of my head. I was going to say the map, but I don't know it.
Yeah, well, there's 3 maps it could be. It could be Mendocino, or Cascade Range, or Tibet, depending on what the players vetoed. I'm guessing they... Oh, okay. Wait, it's still Florida. I'm guessing one of them vetoed Tibet, and I'm in the wrong slot. Okay, leave that one.
Jeez, man, nice going.
It said 3 out of 4 players. I said, well, must be. Or sorry, 2.
Oh, you're still in the wrong
slot.
slot.
In the wrong slot. Yep.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Well, I tried to join, and then I realized that I would be in the wrong slot, so then I backed up. But I was still joining.
All right, let's try this one. Nope, wrong slot. Okay, I'll just wait until. Wait until
Mido in the chat saying the fact that he wasn't using his CM Minutemen was really tilting him, and that he could have won the game.
Yeah, I guess there was a good timing there to send out those Minutemen.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think so. I should have picked up on that, or we should have. Right, that would have given him time to stabilize.
I sort of just forgot.
Right, if you would have just called
card, like, or
yeah,
that he sent the card.
Especially after he sent, after he built the 2 banks, right? He gets stabilized after essentially getting an 8 villager shipment.
Yeah. Only 2.2b. So there's 2 versions of 2.2b, and one of them is 2.2c.
Of course.
Do you see 2.2b on selection? Because one of those is actually 2.2c.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what Garya said. They're probably actually the same. I don't think Mendocino got changed.
Good. I mean, what do you change? Treasure?
I think nothing. I don't know. Oh, okay, he only sees 1. Okay. I could ask Garya if there's a change, or I could give him the map.
Yeah. We could do that.
Alright.
And why do my hands get so cold?
So one thing is if you're playing at very high APM, then your hands tend to get pretty cold. I guess due to the way your blood like flows out of your hand or something.
Interesting. I definitely wasn't playing at high APM last week. I was like casually scrolling through.
Yeah, same.
I'm honestly thinking about buying a blow dryer, just like the
cool.
pros could.
Yeah, I have one somewhere. It's not in my current house. It's somewhere that's not here.
Okay.
So I can't use it.
I have a lot of things somewhere too that are not here as well.
Anyway, it used to be really cold in my house, but fortunately it's not cold anymore because we finally decided it was so cold that it was worth turning on the heater.
Yeah, well, it was getting actually pretty cold for no heater, right? It wasn't like 50 degrees or something. I mean, how warm does it stay inside your apartment?
So the problem is my room has a bathroom attached to it, and that has a window, and the window doesn't close.
Oh, so that probably gets pretty cold.
It gets really cold, especially like in my room and close to it.
Yeah. I have a bathroom connected to my room too, but there are no windows. In fact, there are no windows in our apartment except for 2, which cannot be opened, which look to the interior of the building. Imagine like a square cross section, but like the middle is hollow.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what our building plan is
like. Kind of like a donut, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like a square donut. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So we look towards the inside of that. So actually, we can't escape our apartment unless we go out into the hallway and use like stairs down fire.
Interesting. Because there's like 8 doors in my house. It's kind of ridiculous. Or not 8.
That is a lot.
There's like our front door, which I actually can't get into because I don't have the key for it. And then we have the back door, which I can get into because I do have the key for it. But I'm not supposed to have the key for it. We're supposed to just like put it up at the like. It's supposed to be like the key that you use to get into the house when you don't have the key because you're locked out. But I was like, and I'm just gonna take the key because I don't know how to get in the house otherwise. So I use that key, and then we've got like a hallway door that it gets into one of our hallways for some reason. And then my room itself also has a set of double doors. And we don't have keys for the hallway door or the double doors. I don't know how to actually get into those. from the outside. So they're just kind of like
oh my gosh.
extra doors.
Crazy. Yeah, the old house I lived in with my friends, pretty routinely I would forget my key and get locked out.
Oh, no.
But we had one window which could be open from the outside. And so I'm thankful that I was never called for like burglary, because at many points throughout the day it looked like I was like trying to break into this house, because I'd crawl into the window and like my feet would just be sticking out. And I don't know, it was just really awkward, but that's my house story.
Yeah. In the previous place I lived, or actually 2 places ago, I kind of was afraid that I was going to look like a burglar, because for whatever reason, I couldn't get into the door sometimes. Okay, once I have to do this. I think it is the map. Okay. For whatever reason, if you didn't lock the door properly, it was really hard to unlock it. And so I would just stand outside the door at like midnight, like trying to open it, and looking. And I had to have a flashlight on me, because otherwise I couldn't see anything. So I just always looked like I'm trying to steal something.
No. Good stuff. All right, I want to bring up a controversial subject of debate.
Oh, is it
I woke up
Celsius
this morning.
I'm seeing. Okay.
Well, it's not that, because we know Fahrenheit is a better temperature.
Yeah, of course.
I woke up this morning and I unlocked my phone and I saw that the Twitch app is now like this maroon color. What?
What? Why would Twitch be? Huh.
Why? I don't. Why not just keep it blue? Blue purple
Twitch
like
has
it
a
always
nice,
is. But
thing
it's
going
maroon.
on with that. Oh yeah. Okay, I think I see what you mean. I'm looking at Twitch right now. On my computer, but not my phone, but still.
Right.
Huh.
I don't know, man. I don't like change like that.
Yeah. Oh well. What can you do?
In fact, it's maybe outrageous. Might create a petition. Because I very much so go through my phone and look at the colors for apps instead of their logos or whatever. Well, I don't know. Mendocino. Map for game at number 3.
It's a good map. I really enjoyed the map.
I did too. Ever since it first came out, it's been one of my favorites.
Yeah. It's got a lot of hunts. It's kind of small, but not well, it is pretty small, but not ridiculously small. It's got a lot of like different attack paths, and it's got 4 trading posts, and I love all the trading posts I can get. It's kind of like
yeah,
my
it's a
planes,
good trading post map.
reeled in.
Good treasures, usually around the outside.
Yeah,
of the
usually
map.
really good treasures. I think we were playing on it yesterday, right? And we saw a CDB a couple times, and a settler.
Yeah, and a villager. Yeah. Yeah, we played that map like 3 times.
Yeah. It looks like Russians versus French. Was Jerimuno? No, he was Aztecs in game 1. Okay, so he's playing Russians for the first time in this series.
Yeah. This is, I guess, I don't know if you can call a matchup classic. It's an old one.
Yeah, it's been around since Vanilla, so it's over 10 years old now, this matchup.
Definitely. And these are both civs that a lot of people main, a lot of people play.
Yeah. Not so much Russia now on the new EP. They've had some struggles, I guess.
That's
I think
true.
A lot of the previous Russia players have moved on to India or the Aztecs. But you still see them occasionally.
That's very true. It is a 200 wood start, so we will see Snow, I believe, go for an early trading post. He's going to like that.
Yeah, seems pretty likely. He stopped by to get that 50 coin, but...
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, 95 wood.
And he scouts 95 wood, which is... I don't know if he can build a trading post and get down there, take it, and get it before he's popped. So I think he's going to chop for it anyways.
Yeah,
I think it's the safer option.
Yeah. He is going for that trading post. Looking at the treasures, you can see... I would say Snow has a slightly better treasure setup than... Am I looking at the right player? Yeah, than Jerimuno. He's got this tomahawk, which is covered by 3 wolves, and that 95 wood.
There is a CDB here, though.
Yeah, that I did notice,
Which the native scout will scout before Jerimuno.
Yeah, Jerimuno's like
so,
the Eastern scouting pattern. Got that 70 food. Actually took a little bit of damage that he maybe didn't need to. I think he should have known that there was no chance of Snow actually taking that treasure from him because he was making that trading post. But even so, he did get a little bit of compensation in terms.
I agree, definitely. The 2 villager treasure in the north of the map, I think, could be another nice mid-game treasure to pick up. Maybe not.
Yeah,
maybe I just.
That one, yeah.
It's just so satisfying when I'm playing a game and I just get 2 villagers for like 10 seconds of my cavalry's time.
Yeah, it's something that I think you should always try to do when you remember it is to just look at the treasures mid-game and remember to take them. Because there's a common theme of players not remembering that they can take treasures at any point in the game, not just age 1. And some of these mid-tier or mid-game treasures are very powerful.
Looking at Eric's deck,
yep, we got to do that.
Is an interesting riding school card in H2, which you don't see a lot in 1v1.
Yeah, sometimes I just put like a card in my deck because I don't know what to put, and riding school is one of them. Where I just say I need another H2 card, so we got riding school, advanced arsenal, or whatever, and I say okay, or like some hand infantry combat card. Just like I'm never going to send this, but I'll just do it just in case.
That's a good point. I mean, realistically, he's not going to exhaust all of his H2 cards on the slightest. So H3 is much more important. And even then, I mean, 12 Swiss pikes. You don't see that every day. Could be good though. I mean, I've seen A's do some pretty remarkable things with Swiss pikes.
Yeah. Looks like Jerimuno picked up that Tomahawk treasure while Snow picked up the Cherokee Rifleman instead. I think that Snow wins that because the Cherokee Rifleman is ranged infantry.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he's going to go for it.
Both explorers are at similar hit point.
Oh yeah, we can have a little bit of battle going on here.
This is a sort of intensive age 1 micro in which both players still have to age up. So both players just putting in the age up while trying to micro this fight.
The age up is actually remarkably difficult to do because there's no hotkey for it.
Yeah.
So you just have to physically, it's so annoying.
And you have to muscle memory, which is the correct politician. Sometimes, like, I'll try to be extra fast and I'll click the wrong one, I think, without reading it. Then I'll have to cancel it and do the right one, which can be really awkward.
It especially happens whenever I play the Asian civs. For whatever reason, I just don't remember where they are.
Yes,
so
same.
The wrong one.
And plus, like, you have to place the wonders, which sometimes can be tricky. I don't know, but Eric is taking this engagement pretty handily, picking off both the Tomahawk and the enemy explorer.
Yeah, and kept the Cherokee Rifleman up as well.
And now that opens him up to maybe taking that treasure or going down and getting the 95 wood or something. And he scouts the blockhouse. Yeah. Really nice scouting from Eric.
And also because the explorer is down, that native scout is actually going to get a lot of information from this blockhouse. You can park it right under the blockhouse, and if Jerimuno forgets about this, he's going to have information for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's super nice. Very clutch. I'd like to see Eric maybe herding in this hunt as well. Right now he just has the one herd of deer in his base.
Yeah.
Which versus Russia, maybe you'd like that in another hunt.
I think we're starting to see he's going to go for a stable start. You can see he's getting a lot of gold for just that purpose. Jerimuno, meanwhile, I think it's going to be going for the fairly standard Russia play. Send all the musketeers, or send the Cossacks, send the musketeers out. I think
so too. This is actually an interesting blockhouse placement. I suppose he kind of wants the aid of the trees. Yeah. It's like an extra natural barrier. But I wonder if it wouldn't have been, more central in the map, protecting the hunt gold mine.
Yeah, to put it like right between this gold mine and the cliff, I think would have been a good decision. This blockhouse, as it is sort of not guarding anything.
Right now the central pathway to both towns through the middle here, the blockhouse is providing no line of sight to that at all.
Exactly. Yeah.
5 musketeers coming out and applying pressure on this very vulnerable trading post.
Yeah. A neat little trick that Jerimuno is doing right now is he's actually sending 1 musketeer off to go revive its explorer. And I kind of like that because
Nice.
he's realizing that he does want that explorer to be up. And he's actually sending one Cossack off to get the native scout. So
Yep.
a lot of very small
nice
things that
pickup.
are actually going to work out for him in the long
Yep.
term.
Jerimuno is playing very well again, as you see. Just some nice little things which are adding small advantages, like killing that native scout. And in fact, he's just going to leave the trading post where it is. He's just going to push in here with the 5 musketeers.
Yeah,
700 wood.
it may be a
is
little
the,
bit early.
first
I
card.
think if we do see 5 hussars coming out, and I think that's going to be enough to be able to stop this pressure.
I think so
the
too.
Explorer. No, he's probably not going to get that either.
And he's smartly pulling back, Jerimuno. Although, he could have just been sieging this TP the whole time. But nonetheless, applying some pressure is not bad.
Yeah, we have to remember that Snow is on a little bit of a clock here. He only has that one hunt. He's going to have to push out a little bit to get that second hunt. But even after he goes through that second hunt, where is he going to go next? It gets a little bit difficult to secure the next hunt after that, especially with these blockcasters. But yeah, he's going to get a raid. Oh, Jerimuno pulls off just in time.
I think he's going to be able to pick. He's going to pick up the blockhouse though.
That is true. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there's this one Cossack here for Jerimuno. He could use the snare if he sees it.
Yeah, I think he doesn't realize, and he actually is going to lose the Cossack instead. If Snow notices, and okay, Jerimuno notices the Cossack, but Snow does not.
All right, so 700 coin coming in and a barracks coming down for Eric, and another trading post at the far left of the TP line. And a nice little 5 hussar raid in as 3 buildings are being placed.
Oh yeah,
that's a good reaction time from Jerimuno. And another 3 hussars coming to harass these villagers, making the middle blockhouse.
Oh wow!
So some nice play from Eric.
Seeing a lot of very good multitask. Yeah, picks up one villager, doesn't get the blockhouse, but still picks one villager up before Jerimuno is able to notice. And gets some raiding done on these hussars and is able to defend at home. So I don't think he's lost a single villager yet.
And I mean, look at that. I mean, that's just so awkward for Jerimuno right now to tell all those villagers, and then now they're just clustering up there, and he's gonna lose more of them.
This is
This is where Eric, I feel like, excels in this type of play, and he's doing a very nice job. And Jerimuno getting frustrated, and that's GG.
Calls it. Yeah, that's too bad for him. I think he was playing well. There were a few missteps just at this point in like the last minute, but you saw for the first 7 minutes of the game he was doing fine.
Yeah, really a strong series from him. I think just in this game we see the power of raiding and cavalry presence. But I thought he played great the whole series, and I was really impressed by what I saw.
Yeah, he did very well. I think, Snows is saying sorry. I think, for those of you who don't know the context of this game, Snow is actually going to not play the match just because his internet is not very good right now. But Jerimuno said, no, let's just play it out. And I think during the series, there's definitely a little bit of lag for the players. But Jerimuno is being a good sport about it, not taking it too hard.
Yeah, it's nice of him to play the series. He could have got an advance if he wanted to, but I think he's a competitive player and wanted to give the viewers a good show too. So
yeah, if he signs up for second chance, I think we'll see good things out of him.
Definitely.
He's now eligible to do so.
So that concludes our best of 3. Eric taking the series 2-1. Very fun games to watch. Congratulations to Eric. Thank you to Jerimuno for playing. Thank you to Duck for casting such short notice.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I see in the chat there's somebody talking about something going on, maybe like a show match. I don't know if we have tournament matches scheduled for the rest of the day. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to cast them because I'm actually supposed to be working right now. So I need to go get something done today, and then I'll probably be playing in the evening. But
yeah, I need to do things too.
Yeah. So
for like 18 hours.
This is it for us today. Maybe there's going to be more matches casted by somebody else. I don't know. Everybody in chat can go figure that out themselves. And we're going to be heading out.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yep. Thank you. See you later.